This could be why it's so hard to maintain eye contact while having a conversation. Research suggests there could be good scientific reason why some of us struggle to look someone in the eye and hold a conversation with them at the same time. It turns out we're not just awkward. Our brains actually can't handle the tasks of thinking of the right words and focusing on a face at the same time. The effects becomes more noticeable when someone is trying to come up with less familiar words, which is thought to use the same mental resources as sustaining eye contact. Scientists from Kyoto University in Japan put this to the test in 2016 by having 26 volunteers play word association games while staring at computer-generated faces. When making eye contact, the participants found it harder to come up with links between the words. Although eye contact and verbal processing appear independent, people frequently avert their eyes from interlocutors during conversation, wrote the researchers. This suggests that there is interference between these processors. The volunteers were tested while looking at both animations of faces making eye contact and animations of faces looking away. They were also asked to think of links between easily associated words and words where there are a lot of competing associations. For example, thinking of a verb for knife is relatively easy because you can't do much more than cut or stab with one. Come up with an associated verb for folder is harder, considering you could open, close, or fill them. The volunteers took longer to think of words when they were making eye contact, but only when difficult words associated were involved. The researchers suspect the hesitation indicates the brain is handling too much information at once. So while making eye contact and holding a conversation is certainly possible, this is evidence that they can both draw on the same pool of cognitive resources, and sometimes that pool starts to run a little dry. The sample size used was small, so we need to take it with a grain of salt, but it's an interesting hypothesis and also not the only study to suggest the brain gets slightly freaked out by eye contact. In 2015, Italian psychologist Giovanni Caputo demonstrated that staring into someone's eyes for just 10 minutes induced an altered state of consciousness. Participants saw hallucinations of monsters, their relatives, and even their own faces. It seems that the process called neural adaptation is the cause, where our brains gradually alter their response to a stimulus that doesn't change. So when you put your hand on a table, you immediately feel the table, but that feeling lessens as you keep your hand there. The volunteers making eye contact and associating words may also be experiencing some kind of neural adaptation, but for now the Kyoto University researchers are calling for further study into the links between verbal and nonverbal communication. In the meantime, if someone looks away while they're talking to you, they might not be rude. They could just have an overloaded cognitive system. Now, the findings here were published in the journal Cognition, and the article was first published in November 2016. This is on Science Alert. If you'd like to join me on my Patreon account, you will hear content not covered by mainstream media. These riveting stories will be based on my research, and I will state my opinions and give my personal insight on diverse and controversial subjects and world events not covered by mainstream media, and not supported by YouTube guidelines. So whatever I have on my Patreon, most of those will not be on my YouTube channel. Please consider becoming a member today. More of the most significant and important videos will be on my Patreon channel. Your support helps me to continue my research and keeps this YouTube channel alive. And we depend on your support, your generous charity, because we help economically challenged families here in Athens, Greece, in Kapota, and we also help the young generation with university tuition and the community around our church. Thank you.